Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, episode number 227. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined by, for the first time, another old-ass man who has been on the podcast before. He's old and dying. He's 30 years old, in fact. Tanner, how was your birthday? I wish I had a cricket sound. I used to, actually. Hold on. Tanner's AFK right now. But it was Tanner's birthday yesterday. He's now 30. We are both now 30. We're a pair of 30-year-old men doing a podcast about a video game. That's what we've become. And we're going to keep doing it. So welcome to the show, episode 227. If you're new, then I will first start by saying we timestamp the episodes. So if you would like to skip to a particular topic or content that you're interested in, you can do that. Just look in the description or the show notes for the timestamps, and then you can skip like announcements or what have you. But before we get into the announcements, Tanner, how was your absolute 30th birthday? Do you feel old as shit? Do you feel as old as you are, is the question, right? Because you're old, dude. 3 decades on Earth, plus even.
To start off, yes, Griff, you are correct. It felt the same, and it was a day, yeah.
It was a day, huh?
Yeah, it was a normal day, pretty much. Yeah.
Didn't have a dirty 30 Las Vegas trip or anything?
No,
midlife
didn't
crisis
go to Vegas. Yet? Not yet, no. Haven't killed myself yet, so no, not quite.
Yeah. Not quite.
Maybe, though. Maybe I am starting to hit a midlife crisis, because my dad's friend has this nice Jeep that he doesn't use, and my dad's really been trying to get me to buy it, trying to get me to trade, sell my car and my Jeep and buy that one, because it's a lot newer. It's like a few years old, and he doesn't drive it. So maybe that's my midlife crisis, that I'm considering buying a new vehicle and selling my other two.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out, though, for sure, yeah.
What does the new Jeep have that yours doesn't? Like a radio?
Well, I mean, to start with, cruise control. It drives straight on the freeway.
Oh, that's good. Have you fucked up your axle on your current Jeep?
No, like the steering is all bent and fucked up, though, so it's kind of hard to keep straight.
Yeah, I've gotten in a number of accidents with the TC, and one of them fucked up the axle. It can't drive straight. It's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
I've been told that happens. Like, even if you get a new one or whatever, it's like, it'll never drive like totally straight anymore, which is cool. So anyway, that's cool, man. Well, with that, if you're here live, give Tanner money for his birthday, for his 30th birthday, so he can buy a new Jeep. Support his midlife crisis, and you can always donate as well. That'd be great. And you can join the Patreon like these kind souls. Welcome to our new gold patrons. Got a lot of new frogs this week, which is fantastic, fun, and exciting. First, we've got Sabine S. That's a name, Sabine. Is that a female name? Kind of sounds like it, right?
Certainly.
I feel like I've heard the name Sabine before.
You can look at the profile picture, and I would imagine that's a female. The profile picture
is a female.
I don't know what they identify as, but it appears to be a female, yes.
This creature does appear to be a female, yes. Looks like we got a little baby, a little infant. Holding a little infant, little fucking bald
Is that an
head
infant?
in the bottom left. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It looks like a cup to me, but yeah.
Well, Sabine holding
It's either a baby or a
infant
cup.
or a cup. Either way, young lady got the pixie haircut. That's what they call that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
White
Yeah.
lady, white woman, white girl. These Patreon pictures are 5 pixels, so I can't really tell what's going on. But I do see that you are white and pixie cut it up with the blonde hair. So Sabine, welcome, and let us know if that's an infant or a cup, because I'm very curious which one it is. But welcome aboard, young lady, and we appreciate it. And change it, obviously.
Oh,
Sabine.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah, that's of course. Duh, you know. Palm, also. Okay. Got it. Welcome, buddy. Another new gold patron. It's fine, I guess. Don't get it, but okay. I wonder if it's the tree or the part of your hand. No one knows.
We won't ever know, yeah. I would imagine if it was
We'll
a
never
tree, they
know.
would have said palm tree, though.
You would think so, huh? Yeah. So, cool. All right. Well, Palm, change it. Welcome. Azuro Wolf. Absolutely change it. Worst one so far. Cool little profile picture, though. Looks Aztec almost. Are there wolves in Mexico?
I don't know.
Central
Wait, why are you
America?
asking if there's wolves in Mexico?
Because that avatar looks Aztec/Mexican to me. I'm getting Mexican Aztec vibes from that.
What does Azuro mean?
Logo.
Is that a real word?
I don't know. Probably not.
Azuro.
I know Azul.
Oh, it's a biological
Azul means blue.
air pollution control systems that is financially and environmentally sound for clients worldwide.
Got it.
Or it's
Okay.
an elevated Italian cuisine restaurant in Virginia. One of those two.
Wolf.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So I hate it and change it, but welcome, buddy. Very much appreciated. We've also got Christoph, which is one of the most pretentious names you can have. You could be Christopher, that's fine. Go by Chris. But don't be Christoph. What are we in Transylvania? You Count Christoph? Stop it. But welcome, bud. Much appreciated. And Jordan Mack, 93, who is almost 30. Welcome aboard, buddy. Enjoy your last year of youth, kind of. You're already pretty old, but it gets worse and worse precipitously as you age, Jordan. And you might even choose worse names than that as you get older. But welcome aboard, and welcome to all of our new gold patrons. Thank you guys very much. Also, better people than you have also joined the Patreon. Welcome to our new platinum patrons. Jake W, which is a fine name, and we'll take it. And you're a king. And Adam B, and that's a fake name. That's not a real name, Adam. Stop.
Adam Cockmeyer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Something like that.
That's what he should have wrote instead of his dog
That's
shit
what
real
you-
last name, which
That's
is
what you should change
Meyer.
Yeah, that's what you should change your name to, Adam. Is Adam Cock. Cock cum. That could be a real last name, right? It doesn't matter. Adam and Jake, welcome. And last and most importantly, Nicolorific upgrading to annual Damascus patronship. Holy shit, man. Nicole, young lady, welcome and get scammed. Very kind of you, queen. She did it for the movie nights, Tanner. Have we talked about the absolute movie night?
We haven't yet, no. It was written down here next, though.
Okay, yes. So we did a movie night, and Nicole, knowing that we were going to watch a rom-com, just couldn't resist, right?
Yeah, couldn't resist.
Female, and said, okay, you know what? I'm going Damascus to come to the movie night and watch the rom-com. I didn't know it was a rom-com, by the way, until we watched it. It was called Free Guy. It was actually pretty good.
I wouldn't say it was a rom-com. I don't think it's considered a rom-com.
You don't think it's considered a rom-com?
No, not really.
It was both romantic and funny.
Maybe it is. It's like it's borderline. If I think of rom-com, I would never think of a movie like that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know though. Maybe it is. What do they call it? Is it a rom-com? Action comedy. Well, it's not action. Let's not call it that.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely a chick flick. Whether or not it's a rom-com, seems like a chick flick.
I wouldn't say that. It's a movie.
It was a movie. It was pretty good. The movie night experience was quite fun too. We did our first ever movie night. This is something people do all the time in online communities, internet communities. Is they, patrons only. We're gonna watch a movie together. We had never tried it. We gave it a shot. It went very well. There was an appropriate amount of talking during the movie. That's how I would describe it. No one talked too much. It wasn't like totally fucking silent. Yeah. It was an appropriate amount of conversation. How did you think the evening went?
I thought it was great. I actually was pleasantly surprised. I think we will do more of these in the future because it's kind of just like sitting there and hanging out. But it also kind of like gives you talking points. Like we'd like make fun of certain things. Then start talking about that aspect of it. And like the way Discord video works is you can manually adjust on your end too what the volume of the video is compared to what people are talking. So if you don't want to hear people, just turn the volume up louder. And if you want to hear people more, like I had mine fairly low so I can still hear it, but if people talked, I could have a perfectly fine conversation. So I thought it was good. I think we had a good size crew for it too. Everyone there was really cool. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good time. And shout out to Leia for piloting that.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
And for the,
she instructed
for the movie
us
suggestion.
about the volume thing, and she gave the movie suggestion, and she turned on subtitles. That was a good little tip too. So yeah, that was really fun. So for our next Damascus Hangout, not sure what we're going to do yet. We might fuck around and do another movie night. We might not. I don't know.
Oh, let's
but if you're a Damascus patron, let us know.
Let's do Warzone Customs.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. We also did our last Patreon topic, which was for our Platinum and Damascus Chads. We did our patron Q&A. It was a Q&A. It was a standard Q&A. It was a standard caliber patron Q&A episode.
Yeah, you think?
Which should tell those of you familiar everything you need to know about it. Apparently, Walt was very upset that we spoiled the end of Breaking Bad for him.
Really?
And yes. And by the way, I don't know if he was very upset, but he said we spoiled it for him. And
it seemed like
he was kind of mad.
It came out in 2009 or something. Figure it
out. And here's the thing, Walt.
Fuck you, Walt.
Breaking Bad ended years plural ago, so there aren't spoilers anymore. If you haven't finished Breaking Bad by now, that is your fault. We didn't spoil a goddamn thing. That is on you. You should have watched it way sooner. Especially with how popular that show was, there was simply no excuse for you to have not finished it by now.
It ended in 2013.
Okay. Wait, really? It's that old?
Yeah, I guess it is. It came out in 2009, finished in 2013. Wow.
Okay, great. So if we're not allowed to talk about the ending of fucking TV shows and movies that are nearly a decade old, then I guess we're never talking about movies again. Because,
Yeah.
Your fault, man.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Absolutely your fault. So, and fuck you. But anyways, we talked about some movies or TV shows and movies, maybe. I don't know, whatever, and other things. So that's live. And we're going to have, obviously, 6 more episodes because when you go to patreon.com/the Dropshot, which is the best way to support the show, you get access to bonus content, including up to 7 bonus episodes per month. So if you enjoy this dog shit podcast, and you want more, that should be your first stop. And thanks to all of our new patrons. Very, very much appreciated. Next, I am also very pleased to report we have smashed the 1,000 Twitter follower benchmark at the Dropshot Pod on Twitter. Now, are some of those followers maybe Russian troll farm bots? Yes, maybe. That might be the case.
That's certainly possible, yeah.
It is possible. We got a very large influx in a very small amount of time of followers. I randomly clicked on one. It was a girl profile picture, so I was already sus.
Real girls aren't
already
on Twitter.
Not looking real. Yeah. And then she was this bot was following 40 accounts, had 0 followers, 0 tweets, 0 likes. And I read the bio, and it was English words together in a sentence that wasn't a sentence. It didn't make sense. It literally said something like, the peacock flew and also orange, yes. Like
Sweet.
it was just random English words together in a Twitter bio. And I was like, oh yeah, we got some bot followers here.
Well, we also didn't get notifications for a bunch of them.
And which was weird. I don't know why that happened. I don't understand that. But that was the first red
Twitter
flag.
probably knows or something that there's some type of bot accounts and it like doesn't notify you. I don't know.
Yeah. So that was weird. But we did also get a lot of legit followers.
We got a lot of real ones. Yeah, a lot of real ones.
Since we've been holding the episodes hostage. So if we stay above 1,000, then you won't hear about it till we're close to 2K, and then I'll hold you hostage again. And if we don't stay above 1,000, you'll definitely be hearing more about this. So just to be safe, guys, at the Dropshot Pod on Twitter, figure it out and follow. And thanks in advance. So there you go. Another thing, quickly. I changed some monitor settings for Caldera. And this is kind of a workaround way of doing filters. So before, the normal way people do filters in Warzone is they use NVIDIA. They're NVIDIA filters, I guess. They're called NVIDIA filters. And you have to have GeForce Experience installed on your computer to use it. And then when you use the GeForce Experience filters, it really negatively impacts your FPS, on top of GeForce Experience itself negatively impacting your FPS. I uninstalled that shit when Caldera came out. Didn't look back. But then clouds came. So then I was like, I remembered there is a way to like change things in your NVIDIA control panel if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, which is not a separate program. You just like right click your desktop and press NVIDIA control panel. And then you can change your actual monitor settings. Bandit hooked me up with his that he got from someone who's smarter than him. I did this and it like solved my Caldera visibility issues for the most part. Inside a factory is still pretty bad, even with these monitor settings on. But the gulag is like visible now. Is the gulag still one of the worst that I've ever had the displeasure of playing? Yes, of course it is.
Absolutely.
But at least I can see better now. And with that said, even though monitor settings help, I still stand by everything I've said about how much worse the visibility is now with Season 3. For a number of reasons. Number one, shouldn't have to change my monitor settings. Number two, what about all of the console players? They're just fucked, I guess? Cool. So I still stand by everything I said. Some of us can work around it better than others, but in general, it was not a good change, and I stand by that. You should try those monitor settings, though, Tanner.
I could, yeah. I certainly could.
Take
I think
like 2
mine
seconds.
are fine now. You used it through NVIDIA control panel, you said?
Yeah, right-click NVIDIA control panel.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, I'm going to post an image of the settings in announcements on Discord with no context. So you will be able to copy that if you want. The only real downside is like everything else when you're not gaming is kind of annoying looking.
That's what I was going to say. That's the issue with doing that.
Yeah. But I mean, you literally change like 2 or 3 sliders. So if you really wanted to, you could just change them back every time. It would take you sub 5 seconds. But
you could probably even Have you ever just messed with the settings on your literal monitor? Like the buttons on your monitor and done that?
Not really.
Because you can do that. You can do that. And then most gaming monitors now also have like, you can have like between like 1 and 5 profiles. So you can like literally just go in there and like change the profile if you want to switch it easily between like from game to game or from game to, you know, just browsing your PC. Because people never talk about just your actual monitor settings, but that makes a massive difference. I think most people plug in their monitors and don't ever think about it, which is insane. Because most monitors look horrible out of the box.
Yep. Yeah, true. That's one of those things, like when you start a new game, you go to the settings. It's what you should do for a monitor as well, which is what I did. I like corrected my monitor with no filters or monitor settings of any kind, and then applied settings after that. But maybe it would be better to do it differently, especially because of the profile thing. Like you said, that's a good point. But either way, that resource is there if you guys want it in announcements. And then last but not least, this is probably not going to be interesting to most of you, but I decided to take my own advice after we did All About Warzone Newbie Edition. One of the things I said, the broader points, or Tanner and I both said, is that if you're going to be wasting your time playing Warzone for fun and you don't really care about your KD, but you play it to have fun, you might as well try and get better anyway, because then it'll make your for fun activity more fun. And I thought to myself, you know what? I should take my own advice and do this. And what that has culminated in lately, the particular tip I've been using was not a tip I don't think we used in the All About Warzone Newbie Edition. It's a little bit more advanced of a tip, maybe. But it's something that came of Warzone brainstorms we've been doing, which is mount more. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to like choose this one skill, mounting my gun, more. And I'm going to deliberately like force myself to do it even when I'm uncomfortable. I've been doing that for the past week. And I've been doing so much better in Warzone and having so much more fun as a result of that. And it just goes to show you, like we said in that episode, if you're going to be wasting your time for fun anyway, get better so then you'll have more fun when you play. And now I'm addicted to Warzone again. Oops. Having so much goddamn fun because of the mounting thing. And another kind of like auxiliary benefit I got from trying to mount more is I realized how often I used to shoot without being by any cover.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I thought I very rarely did that. Super wrong. When you actually force yourself to mount, you realize how often you would just start shooting without cover. And I was like, holy shit, I must have just shot in the open all the time. Because there were so many times where I'm just out in the open. It's like, wait, nope. God damn it. I'm going to make myself mount here. And then I move like 3 meters to some wall or something and mount. And I think the combination of mounting plus by virtue of mounting, making myself be on cover before I start shooting shit, is those two things combined has made me perform so much better lately. And that's made me have so much more fun lately. So I will reiterate, do all the newbie tips and then listen to the brainstorms if you're a patron. Start doing those too. But it's going to take deliberative practice and you have to like force yourself to do it. Talking about it on the brainstorm even wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
I didn't take my own advice even after that. But then eventually I was like, you know what? Fuck, I really should. And it's been so good for me. And another reason I'm addicted to Warzone is, of course, the Jack 12 fully automatic shotgun, which has been a treat. A pleasure and a treat to use because it has a faster TTK than most meta SMGs inside of 9 meters, and it is significantly easier to use. And what's crazy about that is everyone I've been playing with now has started calling me Captain Jack.
No one has called you that except for yourself.
A lot of people have
no
been,
one
and
has.
It's because
no one
kids
has.
Are getting gapped, skill gapped, jacked off, killed with the Jack 12 fully automatic shotgun. Gapped and Jack by Captain Jack. That's me, baby. And I've just been jacking kids in Warzone. And that also has made this game a lot more fun. Because before, using a fully automatic shotgun, which is very easy to use because you don't have to aim, I would lose 90% of gunfights inside of 5 meters. Because demons slide canceling with a type whatever.
Type A number, type hundo.
Yeah, sure. Okay, type 100. Type 99 is the LMG, I guess. Type 100, Owen gun, OTS 9, whatever the fuck. I can't compete. I'm not good enough on keyboard and mouse to ever do that. Especially with the health increase, I would just lose all those gunfights. But now that I'm using that thing, that Jack 12 thing, I have a great time in buildings. I'm fucking destroying kids. Because no one's using the Jack 12. Most people aren't. No one expects it. And I don't miss. Because you can't miss. If they're on your screen, you're hitting them.
Yeah.
And it's got a really competitive TTK inside of 9 meters. So the play, since you're using restock stims, is to fucking bang a stim, tack sprint, super slide, dead, free. Easy clap, jack them off, no counterplay. I've been having so much fun in Warzone for those two reasons.
Been having fun jacking kids in Warzone.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man.
Absolutely,
well, yeah. I just now realized your name is Captain Jack. I thought it said Captain Jack. I never looked that closely at it. It's one of those things where you look at a word and just assume it's one thing, and I just now seeing it's Captain, and you've had that name for 3 days now.
Oh, I've had it for a while, yeah. Captain Jack, because kids are getting gapped and jacked. That's me, dude.
Yeah. Skill gapped, huh? Got it.
Yeah, Jack 12 skill gapped, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Warzone. You've used the Jack 12 a little bit, right? I think we talked about this on the brainstorm, but why don't you tell us about the Jack 12 experience?
I didn't even use it with a good barrel, and it was still chunking kids. I mean, you can easily 1v3 kids, where with an SMG you just can't. You don't even need, a lot of people run the 30 round mag on the Jack. You don't need it. All you need is the 20. A 20 will down a team of 4 with easily 8 shotgun shells to spare. So use a 20 rounder. Anyone up close, you're going to win that gunfight pretty much. You catch them off guard, they get furious. Some real angry death comms.
And some great death comms, which is a good benefit too.
It's real solid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the mounting more you've been doing for longer than me. But like the EM2 kind of trained you to do that as well.
Yeah, because you basically have to with the EM2. You really don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And if you want to hit shots with it. So yeah. But yeah, mounting works excellent, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for Tanner, mounting was better for him to just like land more shots. That was the biggest benefit he got out of mounting more. For me, it was being in cover more because I just was not in cover enough. And now I'm getting both benefits. It's been so fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, the TLDR here is, once again, take our advice. It worked for us, worked for me a lot. Pick a skill, practice it a lot. Then it'll become like habit, and then you'll just always have more fun without even having to try. All you have to do is put in that first initial period of like deliberately trying, but it'll make your hobby so much more fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like turned Warzone around for me lately. I've been so like burnt out and bored of it, but now it's like, dude, I'm having so much more fun.
Well, you had an entire day of 0.6 lobbies. Anyone would have fun. Yeah.
That was only yesterday, but that was the worst lobby I've ever seen in my life. I'm not kidding. I wish I was streaming. That's kind of why I want to stream today in case I get another lobby like that, just to demonstrate to people. I was playing Iron Trials quads yesterday with the boys. And every single game was the worst players I've ever seen. One of them in particular was like, it was like 0.62 average. I don't think I've ever been in a lobby that low. And it showed. We had 20 kills before we left factory with ground loot.
I don't get
in Iron Trials.
Yeah, I don't get why players that bad are even playing Iron Trials. What are they doing? You'd think they'd be on regular BR. I don't understand it. They must not know what they're doing. Yeah, they're gonna get absolutely fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. It was insane. They got gapped so hard, yeah. It was so fun. But anyway, yeah. That also does make the game fun too. But even before that, with like normal lobbies, I've been doing better. But anyway, other than that, Tanner, any announcements from you?
No.
You're listening for the jingle. Here it is.
Oh yeah, I gotta hit that jingle thing, huh? SP Farms, thanks for the 1,000 biddies, dude. Another 1,000. Appreciate it, King. Mind if I take a bite of chocolate?
Take a bite of some chocolate.
That's good, man. Holy fuck.
What kind of chocolate is that, dude? Dark chocolate?
I don't know. I like it, though, I'll be honest with you, man.
That's super interesting, dude.
Wow. I didn't expect it to be solid.
How bite of chocolate can you take in one bite?
I don't know, man.
Let's give it a try. So you can get all the way to the bottom of that.
Try that. That is some excellent chocolate.
Of chocolate.
I expected it to be hollow.
Did ya?
They're not hollow. Huh? That's a solid piece of chocolate. Yeah.
It's solid and hard piece of chocolate, huh?
It's hard. It's very
fucking hard, solid piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
How long is that piece of chocolate, would you say? That you just put in your mouth.
Do I have a tape measure around here? I may have a tape measure.
Get a tape measure out. I'm guessing 8 inches.
Oh, no, it's not that big.
It's not that big?
It seems like an average white one, so I would say like 5 or 6, you know, somewhere in there. Not 6, no. I don't know.
I can't see it anymore.
The little balls are kind of tiny, though.
Little tiny balls? Yeah.
Little tiny nuts.
So, Tanner, why don't you tell us about that piece of chocolate you just enjoyed? Oh, yeah, that could be 7.
It's not.
It's not?
No way.
I think it's 7
I'll
or 8,
get a tape measure right now and measure it. It's not. You need to learn how to measure. No wonder you think your cock is giant. You think it's like 9 inches when it's not.
My cock is double that size, but I can't really tell on camera.
Yeah, you can't tell. Yeah. What if I put it up next to my face? How can you tell?
Yeah, slap it on your cheek.
That's pretty, yeah, it's a good size. It's a great size, really.
Yeah, dude, that's...
Great girth.
Maybe 6. It's at least 6, though.
I believe 6. It's not confirmed, but I believe Bango sent us this, aka me, because I'm not giving any to you. And it is a chocolate cock.
So you're keeping all the chocolate dicks to yourself,
It's a chocolate cock. So thanks, Bango. That's actually really good chocolate, man. I can't wait to eat the rest of that.
Yeah, it says eat a dick on it. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty jealous, dude. I would like I'd like one of them things. Put that thing in my mouth.
I could eat the tip while you eat the balls.
Just yeah. Yeah, we could double team it for sure. We could take turns. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, welcome to the show. Today we are not talking about chocolate or cocks. Maybe a little bit of cocks. We're talking about Call of Duty. So first, patch notes, changes already in effect. On May 4th, there was a Warzone patch.
Was there?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
With a lot of adjustments, actually. So the armored truck, which is the Bertha with that 50 cal banger on the back, was adjusted. The health and resistances were decreased to be in line with, but still greater than, the regular Bertha. Perfect change so far. It's exactly what I was hoping for. And then the turret on it has had its damage decreased by 40%, which is a good change. That thing was disgusting. It was entirely too good. Now it'll be less tanky, but still more tanky than a Bertha, which is nice. And I don't know how much damage the turret will do now, but even 60% of what it was before is going to still be definitely worth shooting.
Yeah.
Probably not insanely overpowered anymore.
It seemed to 4-shot to the chest before. So maybe now that 4 is going to be more like 6 or so.
6 or 7.
Yeah. But it's definitely still going to be good. It's definitely still better than the helicopter minigun, I would assume. So this didn't chalk sabotage contracts. It sounds like you should still absolutely do them.
Yeah, for sure. And then there was also some bug fixes, none of which looked that important.
Yeah, let me look through these. I don't think there was. Apparently some weapons were not gaining XP. Some Vanguard guns, Vanguard rifles, so that's interesting. Apparently those work now. And yeah, I think that's it for the bugs.
And now into some weapon balance. And I am ambivalent about these changes. because on the one hand, most of this probably needed to happen. But on the other hand, I really liked the Cold War AK. So I'm going to try and pull up the clean version of these notes, actually. What? This used to go to clean.
Let's see. Is it in here? Yes, it is. Here, I'll link it right now.
I thought that was in the resources, but yeah, link that sucker, please.
There we go. Just linked it. The top link there now.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to also add this to our resources. One second. So yeah, what is this first weapon change?
All right, so first off here,
nerfed, right?
Yeah, the Cold War AK has been nerfed. Maximum damage range decreased to 34 from 36, and minimum damage decreased to 30, down from 32. So 2 points off the minimum and the maximum damage. It needed to happen, yeah. We've been talking about for literally pretty much the last 5 months how the Cold War AK keeps sliding under that radar. They weren't nerfing it. They weren't touching it. They kept nerfing the Vanguard ARs, which are already terrible, and making them worse, and wasn't touching the Cold War AK. So I think finally now that Vanguard Royale and Battle Royale were put together, and they see more how many people were using the Cold War AK, they said, okay, it's time to nerf this sucker. So it's taken a little hit. Seems to be pretty substantial too for the time to kill, since it has like a low fire rate.
Big.
Yeah, it is. It does not seem to be the best AR. Let me say, I have not played since this update came out, so I haven't tested any of these weapon balances. I won't know until tomorrow.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'll be playing today to test some of this shit. But this, or wait, did I?
Did you play yesterday?
I played yesterday. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, I did, but I was just not using the STG. Okay, yeah, I was using the Extreme M4. So yeah, the AK seems to not be worth using anymore. There are just better options now, it looks like. But the Cold War AK did need to get nerfed, honestly. It was so fucking good. It was so strong.
Yeah.
And we told you guys it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And now it finally has. But that's not all bad for a couple of reasons we're going to get into. Next, the AS44 was buffed, which is a Vanguard AR. Less recoil, max damage range increased by about a meter. Which kind of matters because when you put on barrels, you get a percentage of your base damage range added. So like one more base damage range, once you add all the silencer and the barrel, is going to come out to more than just 1 meter because of those like percentage based additions. So that's decent. It's not crazy, but it's decent. And then for one of the barrels, the max damage range is increased by 20% instead of 15. Probably not worth using still. I don't know. I might give this sucker a try, but there seem to still be better options. What do you think?
It seems to be the best position it's been in to be a sniper support, but now there's no reason to snipe in Warzone anymore if you want to have fun and move your character. So that kind of kills it for me. I know JGod posted a video yesterday of the before and after of the AS44 recoil. The initial recoil especially is noticeably lower for like the first bullet or so, but then after that, it's almost the same. I mean, the AS44 has always been really, really good, and this is the way they have to balance it because it kills so fast that it needs to be difficult to control. If this had the recoil of an auto, this would have been far away the meta AR to use for the last few months, but they balance it by giving it a lot of recoil. So
yeah,
you can set it up as like with a red dot or something, or maybe like a 2.5x even, but yeah, it's too hard to control, and the mobility on it kind of sucks. Because I've even tried using it as like an SMG, but it's just too slow. Because it does kill very, very fast up close. So, I don't know. This would have been a bigger thing had this happened before the sniper nerf, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think you're right. So, if some of you are still sniping, maybe it's a good option for sniper support now. Next is the STG. This is the talk of the town. This is the talk of the TL. The STG was by and large really buffed. Headshot multi 1.58 from 1.5, so more headshot damage. Neck multi 1.19 down from 1.5, so that's a very big nerf to the neck damage multiplier, which is odd, but okay. And here are the big ones. Max damage increased to 33, up from 30. That's somewhat of a big deal, because you can get that first damage range to be decent for an AR, so that's good. And then here's the even bigger deal. Minimum damage increased to 30, up from 26. That is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Minimum damage for your primary is what matters most for ARs, and that's a fucking 4 damage per bullet jump. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a really big buff to the STG, which is already easy to control and use in Warzone. I've used the STG week 1, and it does not have much recoil.
No, it's always been pretty easy to control. Yeah.
Yeah. So having a big minimum damage spike like that makes it way more competitive. The Gorenko 50 round mags are 6% plus fire rate instead of 6.54K. Some changes to a rapid fire barrel, which don't matter because no one uses that or should use that.
Yeah, what?
And then the recoil booster was nerfed as well.
Used to give,
it's super not worth using now. It used to give you 5% more fire rate. Now it's 1.5% more fire rate.
Yeah, people run the silencer on that STG thing.
Yeah, because the MX silencer, I believe, is the one to use. Gives you damage range, I think velocity, and then definitely vertical and horizontal recoil control. So the STG is now like a very competitive, viable primary AR, even compared to Cold War assault rifles, which is a fucking huge, because this is the first time that's ever been true. Now you might say, but Raz, I've been using the automaton for 6 months. It's been viable this whole time. No, it hasn't. You may have been using it, but it hasn't been good. It certainly hasn't been better than any Cold War AR. But now there is an actual Vanguard AR that is in the top tier. I don't know if this is the best primary AR yet. I don't think anyone knows yet. We got to let the community play with these things a lot more. But on paper, and from reports I'm hearing thus far, this thing fucks as a primary AR and will compete with like the Extreme M4 from Cold War and other like top tier assault rifles, which I'm extremely pleased with because I'm begging to use a new gun. Holy shit, I'm begging to.
Yeah.
And now I'm finally going to, and I'm super excited about it. What are your thoughts on this, Tanner? Because you've seen some things about the STG.
Yeah, it seems to be. This is definitely seems like the best Vanguard AR to run now, and it is absolutely up there, I think, in the meta now with like the XM4 and some other ones that we'll get into here, some other Vanguard guns that were buffed. So it seems really good. I'm hearing excellent things about it. I just don't know. It seems like people are still torn on what bullets to use, because I see a lot of people running the Gorenko, see people running the regular extended mags, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. If you're not good, don't use the extended mags, because it's going to have more recoil. Use the 7.62 Gorenko. Yeah. Use the 7.62 Gorenko, because it's going to be a lot easier to control. It's going to have a higher fire rate, more forgiving, so definitely use that. But higher skill players may be able to take advantage of the 8mm 60 round mag, but I don't know, we'll have to see. Most of the builds though that I'm seeing, all the meta, the Warzone pros are saying the meta builds, they're all using the 7.62 Gorenko.
Yeah, so I'll talk about this more probably on Saturday, but certainly soon. But I was looking at SimGG, which updated its stats for this patch. And I was looking at full plates, full health in regular BR with the health increase. And I compared an STG with the Gorenko rounds, which is the faster fire rate, less recoil rounds, with Vital, which is a weapon perk that the STG has that gives you increased torso damage but also more recoil. Okay. And I was comparing that to an STG with the Kurz rounds, which is more damage than the Gorenko rounds, but less fire rate, and therefore more recoil, without Vital. Because Vital also increases your recoil. You might not want to stack those two things. And the faster fire rate ammo plus Vital still gives you a faster TTK if you're hitting chest shots than the regular caliber rounds without Vital do. And my thinking is, since the Gorenko lowers your recoil and Vital increases your recoil, it's kind of a wash on recoil. So your recoil is about the same as it was when you started, but now you're getting increased torso damage and faster fire rate, so it's more forgiving. And I think that might be the sweet spot. That's what it looks like on paper on SimGG. I have to test it though myself, and you guys should test it as well. Because what I'm going to do first is, I think not running Vital is fucking insane. It's increased torso damage and it gives you more recoil. Like pull down forehead. I don't know though. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to use the regular caliber rounds that do more damage than the faster fire rate ones and Vital. And I'm going to see if I can control the recoil. If I can, that's probably the best case scenario because that's the fastest theoretical TTK. If I can't control that, then I might try taking off Vital to give myself a little more recoil control, use acrobatics so I can move around faster or something. And then I'm also going to try again the faster fire rate with Vital so that the added recoil you get from Vital is not so much that you can't use it anymore because you're using the faster fire rate, which lowers your recoil. What are your thoughts on all of this, Tanner? On paper,
that seems to make a lot of sense.
Be good?
I think the 7.62 Gorenko will just be the best with the Vital, yeah. Because it's so much easier to use. Higher fire rate, way more forgiving, especially at range.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to miss a lot more shots with the regular extended mags.
True. And the faster fire rate is more forgiving. That does mean a lot for sure. So,
yeah.
A couple things to keep in mind though, but Vital does appear to work and lower your TTK in Warzone, at least according to sim.gg. So regardless of what rounds you're using, I would not get rid of Vital unless you really have to. It seems insane not to run Vital, honestly. Yeah. But there you go. So very excited to try the STG. The itch reverse has changed. I don't care, and I'm not reading it to you. Next, the bar. Max damage increased to 41, up from 40. Not a big deal. Here's a huge deal, though. Minimum damage from 30 to 36. That is a massive fucking damage buff to the bar.
That is massive.
That is insanely big. That's like a, 20% damage increase? Minimum damage, which is the most important stat. That's really fucking big. So holy shit. And then on one of the barrels, the max damage range increases by 20% rather than 15%. I would assume that will be the meta barrel for a long range bar build.
I think that has been. That's the 27-inch. I feel like that's been the meta one for a while now.
I think you're right. Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't been hearing much about the bar other than Cope saying that thing fucks now.
I've heard,
it's still got a really slow fire rate. So I don't know if this is ever going to be good, to be honest with you, but it's certainly a lot better now. What do you think?
Seems to be a lot better, yeah. I mean, I always kind of liked the bar. The fire rate is entirely too low, but it does hit pretty hard. The second you miss one shot, you're just going to lose a gunfight to someone looking at you every single time, pretty much, so.
Yeah, I know. And if people are, like, moving their characters, it's just so hard. And then next is the automaton. Only one change. Minimum damage increased to 20, up from 19. This is actually a fairly big deal. I don't know how the math works out with this. I suspect it's not going to be killing faster than an STG, for example. But now maybe the automaton's worth using because the minimum damage went up by 1 point. Because you have to think, automaton's got a 75 round mag. It's very easy to hit shots. and it's got a very fast fire rate.
Yeah, that is true.
So even one extra point of damage, is going to raise your TTK.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like it's going to be just outside of like the top tier meta guns. Yeah, it'll be like more usable than it's been, even though people continue to think it is usable and good. But it's not there yet. Yeah, it's just like the easy to use gun though too. So
yeah,
I'll give it that.
I'll look up the math on this at another time. But I just suspect it's not going to be the best option regardless, because there's no way that change is going to change your TTK by more than 2 bullets. And at that point, the TTK is still not going to be as good as like an STG, almost certainly.
Exactly.
But it's also super easy to control, so I don't know. Next, the Coop Carb. Max damage range increased by about 2 meters, 1.5 meters. Pretty good. Cooper Custom Barrel. Damage range now increased by 20%. It used to not increase your damage range at all. So that's insane. And then minimum damage increased to 20 instead of 19 with that barrel. That is interesting. I don't know if that means the Coop enters the long range AR meta, but those seem to be decent changes. Certainly not going to make it OP or anything.
It's making it an even better gun for like a close to mid-range AR, I think. I think kind of that's what it's doing, is it's solidifying its spot there, whereas long range, I'd still feel like you just get 30 hit markers with the thing. I don't know. But I'm excited to try this out more. Again, another one of those changes that would have been great to see pre-sniper nerf.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm absolutely furious about this next one here, by the way.
Yeah, the EM2 from Black Ops Cold War, which I wasn't sure was going to happen.
Because
it's pretty hard to use, but it got absolutely pissed, shitted, and farted on. Headshot multiplier, which was one of the best things about it, used to be 1.5. It is now 1.3. That is a massive nerf.
Yeah, it did like 65 damage to the head, I think.
Yeah, it's going to do a lot less than that now. So that's unfortunate. Max damage, 40 instead of 41. And then minimum damage, 35 instead of 37. The EM2 is dead. I just don't see a reason to use it now.
Especially because how hard it is. Yeah, this pisses me off. And I think we had talked about this recently, too. I said, I hope they never nerf the EM2, because it's the hardest by far meta AR to 100%. Use in the game. And you should be rewarded for using a hard gun, right? No, they don't care. They don't want a skill gap. They don't want good players taking advantage of a gun that's a lot harder to use because they're better, and then they'll kill lower skill players with it when the lower skill player wouldn't even be able to hit the shots. So they want to remove the skill gap, and that's why they nerf the EM2. This pisses me off.
Yeah. I think if you really want to nerf the EM2, a sensible way to do it would be to keep the headshot multiplier, but then do the same changes they already did to the max and minimum damage. If you want to nerf those, fine, but you have to keep its good headshot multiplier. Otherwise, there's no reason to run it because it has too much recoil.
Yeah.
So now it's just, it's like not worth using at all. I think if they kept the headshot multiplier, did everything else, it would still be worth using, maybe. And you would still get super rewarded for hitting headshots, which was like the thing about the EM2 that made it good.
Yep. Exactly.
And it was a gap gun, which is sad. But the EM2 is no longer worth using, period. There's no chance that this is good anymore. So
nope,
that's really in the chat for the EM2. Yeah. Next, the KGM40, which is a Vanguard AR, fairly new, has no recoil, but was dog shit. Max damage range is now 33 meters, up from 31.1. That's a long first damage range, by the way. And that's a decent buff too, 2 meters. And then one of the barrels, which will be the meta barrel, increases your damage range by 20%. It used to not increase it at all. So that's really big. And the minimum damage is 24 instead of 22. This might make the KGM40 the new Kilo, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to see numbers and TTKs, but that's a big, big buff to a gun that is like the no recoil, easy to hit shots, and now you can get a good fucking damage range out of it. This is interesting.
I think this is, again, going to fall right in with like the auto, like just outside the top guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the
Seems that
700
way.
millimeter barrel you want to use, it sounds like. That
Yeah.
was the one that was buffed, 700 millimeter.
Yes. And by the way, as an aside, to be fair to Raven, they have been doing a very good job when they patch their game, also updating the tooltip in your create a class to accurately reflect what it does.
Yeah.
Like when they made this buff to the barrel, it probably says in game now that it increases plus damage range. So that's been cool. So you can probably just like go in game and figure it out. But yeah, there you go. And then lastly for ARs, not lastly, next one, Nikita AVT. Magazine capacity increased across the board. The base one is 40 instead of 35, and then like every single magazine attachment has gotten 5 bullets added to it, which is really good. It's one of the things Tanner and I talked about as being its weaknesses.
Yeah.
This brings it more in line. In addition to that, minimum damage is now 21 instead of 19, which is again a fairly big change. Minimum damage is not really going to help it much as a sniper support AR, which is pretty much what this gun should be anyway. But in some cases it will. And magazine capacity is definitely good to get. So I don't know if this is worth using. I suspect still probably no, but these are good changes nonetheless. Yeah. Yeah. So next, the NZ41. Max damage range, 35.5 instead of 30.9. That's a lot. Really big first damage range. And then minimum damage, 32 from 30. So quite a big buff. Wait, damage penalty decreased. So the 6.5 millimeter Sakura 50 round mags, damage penalty decreased to 15%. Down from 30%.
So that's a buff, right?
They color coded it wrong. Yeah. So this
buff.
actually does the 6.5 millimeter Sakura 50 round mags now do 15% more damage than they used to. That's not quite right. Stats are complicated, but the damage penalty is 15% instead of 30%. So it's a buff to that mag. I don't know if that was the ammo that people used. Oh, wait, no one used any ammo because they didn't use this gun. Yeah.
Well, early on, the NZ41 was like the first meta AR to use, and no one used that thing, I remember.
Okay, yeah. So there you go on that. And then Orb Weaver Custom Barrel, which I think was maybe the barrel? I don't know. I don't remember. No longer has a damage range penalty. And the horizontal recoil control penalty is now 30% instead of 50%. So it'll be a little easier to control as well. Interesting. I don't really know. I still feel like this is probably not worth using, but what do you think?
I don't know. That minimum damage is a lot better now. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anyone talking about this, so I'm assuming it's probably not good. Or it kind of just slid under the radar and no one... because there were so many other changes to all the other weapons and people haven't been using the NZ41, so they don't think to go back and try it. So I'm not sure, but that's a pretty big buff. Big damage range increased. Right. A lot of damage. Yeah. I don't know. This
might be worth experimenting with. I think you're right.
I think the other issue the NZ had, it had a small magazine capacity, didn't it? I believe they buffed it early on, but I feel like it still wasn't very much.
I don't remember that being the case, but maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. Next, the Volk. Minimum damage increased to 22, up from 20. This doesn't matter at all. No one's using a Volk at its minimum damage range ever. So the Volk was effectively untouched. Cool.
And it still doesn't have ammo.
And it still has no ammo, yeah. So the Volk is still unusable. And then the Extreme M4. Headshot damage multiplier increased to 1.54, up from 1.5. So a little more headshot damage now. And the max damage was decreased to 29 from 30, which is not that big of a deal because maybe half your gunfights are at your max damage range with the XM4. So this equated to, as Tanner was explaining, a fairly big overall buff to the XM4 as far as its capacity to be your primary long-range AR. What was the math on that, Tanner?
So according to True Game Data, something like the gun basically got worse as a close range gun, but got better as a long range option, which, yeah, since no one using an XM4 is sniping, so most of my engagements with an XM4, since it has no recoil, are like long range engagements where you're hitting like the minimum damage, basically. So how the math worked out is, I think True Game Data said it was essentially 10 chest shots plus 1 headshot used to do 299 damage, and now 10 chest shots and 1 headshot does 300 damage. So if you do that combo, it's always going to be 1 less bullet to kill, because, well, at least on Caldera, because 300 health.
Yes.
And I don't know what it comes out to if you're hitting more headshots, which it's very easy to hit headshots with an XM4. So this headshot damage multiplier is actually really big because of that reason. I mean, you can almost hit, if you're a good player, you're in a gunfight at 30, 40 meters, you could hit serious like 50% headshots with that gun. Especially mounted, it is easy to use. It is very easy to use.
Very easy.
So overall, this was a buff to the XM4, which I feel like they'll
agree.
end up reverting or changing something else to nerf it.
I agree. And I think they might even need to, because the thing about that stat that's crazy is, like, if you're shooting someone far away and you hit them with 11 bullets, even if you're never aiming for the head, one of those is going to recoil up and get a headshot. You're basically almost always getting at least 1 headshot if you're landing 11 bullets. One of them's almost certainly on their head. Guns recoil up. So this is effectively like virtually every gunfight, you're going to have 1 less bullet time to kill, which is a lot. So this is a massive buff to the XM4. And that reasoning makes perfect sense. I was using this yesterday, and yeah, I mean, just torching. It felt super, super good. I don't know if it was for this reason, but it felt really great. It's still a very good option. This is one of those ARs that I can confidently and safely say is an absolute safe choice to run right now in Warzone.
Absolutely.
STG's got a better TTK on paper. I haven't used it yet, though, but I've used plenty of the XM4, and I can tell you it's safe, and it can definitely compete with an STG, even if it's not necessarily better, which is an open question. So yeah, this thing is really good still, and definitely got buffed.
Yeah.
Next, submachine guns. The Armaguerra from Vanguard. Headshot multiplier 1.58 from 1.3. Jesus Christ, that's massive. Minimum damage is 19 from 15. Neck multi 1.32 from 1.01. And now a couple of barrels increase your velocity as well. That is a gigantic giga buff.
Yeah.
For the Armaguerra. Holy shit.
I saw Lag running it this morning. It looked like he was doing pretty well with it. It's just an easy to use gun too, and it has such a high fire rate. It's very forgiving.
Exactly.
So I think this is probably thrown in the meta now for the SMGs.
100% for sure. Next is the M1912, which is the Thompson, right?
Yep, correct.
Mid damage increased to 22, up from 20, which is fairly significant for SMGs because the first damage drop off is usually like anywhere from like 9 to like 13 meters.
Yeah.
And then so from 13 or whatever to like, 20, that's your mid damage range. You're going to shoot a lot of bullets in that range. Minimum damage increased to 20, up from 18. Big, fairly big. Minimum damage matters a bit less, but still something. And then a couple of the barrels got a bullet velocity buff as well. I don't think this makes this gun worth using, to be honest. I think it needs a max damage range increase to make it a meta SMG and compete with some of the big chunkers, to be honest with you.
Max damage increase?
Good, yeah, max damage.
Okay.
Like max damage range buff.
Huh.
I think to compete with like an Owen gun and shit, you kind of need that. I could be wrong, but this is still quite a good buff. You disagree?
I don't really honestly know what has ever been the issue with the Thompson, just because I've never really run it. I've like never built, I haven't built a custom Thompson since like January. So I don't even know, couldn't even tell you what the issue was with it. I didn't use it very much. It just seemed like it had too low of a fire rate to compete against all the high fire rate SMGs up close. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the ground loot feels pretty good, but that's what I was going to say is like, it's got a kind of slow fire rate, which is why I kind of steered clear of it.
Yeah.
Owen gun, minimum damage increased to 24, up from 22. And that's more relevant for an Owen gun because you do tend to use that a little farther out. And then the Hawkinson rapid barrel was nerfed. Fire rate boost of 10% instead of 16%. Still a gun that is probably worth running. I would
Seems to be, yeah. I think it's still up there. I personally don't like it anymore. I didn't like it even before this, since that last change they made, which was to what, the rapid barrel again, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
A recoil boost or something.
It was a nerf of some kind,
the last thing that they did with the fire rate made me not like how the gun feels.
Was it the ammo? I think they fucked with the fast firing ammo. They did something to that. I think that's what it was.
To the
countdown option.
Okay, yeah, not the ammo type, the actual 7.62 Gorenko mag. That's what they did, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, next, PPSH from Vanguard. Minimum damage 19, up from 17. Okay. Doesn't matter at all for
You're
PPSH.
not shooting people past 10 meters.
Yeah,
the PPSH.
exactly. Yeah, this doesn't matter
because you're building it for hip fire.
Empress 140 millimeter barrel, bullet velocity increased by 20%, and then Zach 300 millimeter, again, a bullet velocity increase. This doesn't matter. PPSH is going to feel the same. Probably not worth using. The Sten, mid damage, 24 from 22. Minimum damage, 21 from 18. And then some bullet velocity buffs. I don't know. I haven't tried a Sten in so long. Mid damage is pretty good. Minimum damage with the Sten, I feel like that doesn't matter that much. And the bullet velocity, I don't think is that big of a deal either. So this is probably not going to enter the equation.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. And then next, MP40 Vanguard. Minimum damage, 22 from 21. Matters very little. And some bullet velocity increases. So again, not really going to feel much different. The Type 100, another minimum damage increase and bullet velocity increase. And the same for the well gun. Minimum damage increase and some bullet velocity increases.
So do you think all of these changes were basically because of the removal of snipers? They were trying to make SMGs reach out further or something? Which actually doesn't really make any sense. But it's like every SMG, essentially, they're trying to buff at range, right?
Yeah.
Well, pretty much every gun in general, actually, is kind of what it seems.
All the Vanguard guns. Yeah. Yeah, which is
something that, I mean, this needed to happen 5 months ago, if I'm being honest, but it's nice we finally have it, and Vanguard guns have become a lot better, or ARs especially, and we have even more SMGs that are good now. Exactly,
yeah. So the last change for this patch, Vital, upper torso damage multiplier is now 1.046 instead of 1.05. So the Vital weapon perk on Vanguard guns was nerfed slightly. So those are the changes for this May 4th patch. There might be one more, I think.
No, but they ended up putting that Owen in here.
Okay, got it. So overall, yeah, like Tanner just said, I'm very pleased with these changes. We are trying to make the Vanguard guns be more in line with their Cold War counterparts, which have more velocity and better damage ranges. And that's what a lot of the changes today to both ARs and SMGs has been. The SMG changes seem far less impactful than the AR changes, but that's good and exactly what I've been begging for, which is a basically blanket buff to Vanguard assault rifles. And now we're seeing a couple of potentially viable options. Certainly one in the STG, but maybe the bar's worth using now. Maybe the Cooper Carbine, maybe the KGM-40, and maybe even the Automaton as well. Huge buffs, not overpowered, but now we're getting them in line with Cold War ARs, which needed to happen. Maybe we'll see some more variety. I am very happy with this patch. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is been needed for a long time. As I said, the Vanguard ARs were underperforming. They felt fine in Vanguard Royale. Now in Battle Royale, going up against Cold War ARs, they just couldn't compete. I know they're easier to use for a lot of people, but someone with more skill with an EM2 or an AK was just frying someone with any Vanguard assault rifle. So I'm really sad about the EM2 nerf. I don't think they should have nerfed it that hard. It is a difficult assault rifle to use, but they did, and they buffed a lot of Vanguard ARs. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's fine. I'm actually happy they did that, because it's not like we haven't been using Vanguard ARs because we didn't want to. It's because none of them were better than a Cold War AK, an XM4, or an EM2. It wasn't an option. You'd lose gunfights to other good players. So you were kind of just forced to. So I think this is good that it's finally, 5-6 months later into the Caldera guns being introduced in Warzone, and a lot of these ARs we can finally use in regular Battle Royale.
Yeah. And I don't think the meta's settled yet. A lot of people are kind of using the STG, saying that's the new AR. But like Tanner said, maybe the NZ is like worth using now. And people haven't, the patch has only been out for a day. And maybe the KGM40 or something too. I'm very excited to see how this shakes up the meta. And with a Cold War AK nerf, I think it likely will. What I suspect is going to happen soon is the XM4 is going to get nerfed, and then you're going to see a big shakeup with the long-range AR meta. I think you're still going to see a lot of XM4s just because people are already used to it, and it's still definitely good. And then that will get nerfed, and then when it does, then we're going to have this thing busted wide open, and hopefully some Vanguard ARs enter the fold, because I am very ready to use new guns in Warzone.
Yeah, sure. I think the XM4 is going to be nerfed again. They
almost certainly
they did just make it better at range, so...
Yeah.
All of my XM4 engagements are past like 30 meters, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They'll probably I think they'll tone down the minimum damage by like 1 or 2 points, which would be a decent nerf, I guess. It depends on how good the Vanguard ARs are now.
Yeah,
if it's close to those, then sure, yeah. So, there you go. Splish splash, I was taking a bath. And noticed I have beautiful balls. Our friends at MANSCAPED, the global leaders in below-the-waist hygiene, are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all-new Ultra Premium collection. This all-in-one hygiene skin and hair bundle is designed to upgrade the everyday man's shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, hair, and balls deserve this. Save big by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code Dropshot. Let me walk you through the absolute routine, okay? Step 1. Lather on the cologne-infused Ultra Premium body wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. Not sure if you heard that correctly, but this body wash is cologne infused, so that special someone in your life will absolutely love it. Step 2 is hair care time. Apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes in one step. The non-greasy formula has a base of coconut water, green tea, aloe, turmeric, and sage. Put it on your pits and your pubes. Step 3, hop out of the shower. Protect yourself from BO by applying the MANSCAPED aluminum-free deodorant. It dries clear and is likewise cologne-infused. Step 4, if you're tatted up or you have dry skin, hit it with the hydrating body moisturizer spray. Like we're back in middle school. Axe body spray. But this actually smells good. And it's not exactly body spray, is it? It's moisturizing spray. Figure it out. Step 5. Apply the MANSCAPED Lip Balm. This is a free gift when you purchase the Ultra Premium Collection. And last but not least, we're using the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, so you can bet it's a major key to the new shower routine. This new bundle will change your life, and I want all of you to live your best lives. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off plus free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. It's time to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine. Now, on to news and upcoming changes. First, Jungle will be in Cold War, the map, on May 6th. There will also be a Jungle 24/7 playlist when it goes live. We kind of already talked about this, but Jungle in Cold War seems like a disaster unless you're sniping or using an LMG.
Yeah.
So make sure if you play this map to only use one of those two weapons.
Thermal M60, thermal stoner.
Dude,
that's the
so
move
good
right there.
Yeah. LMGs are just going to be so fucking good. Great map. I'm never installing Cold War again though, so F's in the chat. But
yeah,
just so you know.
The more that I think about it, I feel like a map like Jungle, we had so much fun on in BO4 because of the operators. Because like using a Ruin and shit was just
fun.
Fantastic on Jungle. Fly all around, do the Ruin smash. That for me, like that map, I always use Ruin because it was so fun. It made it play so much faster.
I think Ruin in general made BO4 more fun.
Yeah. I get like you especially didn't like they're not called operators. What are they called? Were they called operators?
Operator abilities, yeah.
I know you didn't like it, but like from a casual standpoint, it actually made the game a lot more fun when it comes to pubs. Like obviously it's like not competitive and harder to balance, but that like Ruin especially was just so much fun. So much fun.
Or maybe it was
But anyway, so yeah, Jungle's coming, cool. That's dope. And it's finally they've been talking about it for weeks, so it's finally here.
Yeah, I think you're right though. That's why they had the specialists or operators, whatever they called them. Is because it did make it more fun for casuals because you were guaranteed to get your super cool thing even if you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I just played so much that it pissed me off. If I was a casual fan, even of the same whatever skill level I was, I would have been fine with it. But when you play as much as I did, that shit bothers you. But yeah, anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
What do we got next here, bud?
All right, next up here. So this is an article from Charlie and Till. So they had a interview. Was it with them? In a pre-season 3 interview with Charlie and Till, Warzone's director Ted Timmons confirmed that Vanguard's Serpentine perk will arrive in season 3 Reloaded. I don't think we talked about this, did we?
No, you mentioned it to me.
I had seen it. I had seen it as a leak. I didn't realize this was like a public thing that was said. No one's been talking about this. I think because no one plays Vanguard and understands what the perk does. So here's some things out of it. They're bringing Vanguard Serpentine perk to allow players to counter sniper rifles. He specifically said that. Although sniper rifles received a major change in Season 3, true, where only a handful can have one shot to the head at any range, the team wants to see more counterplay, and this is where the Serpentine perk for Vanguard comes in. Timmons described a feeling that every Warzone players know too well: when you get one shot, blah, blah, don't care. He also confirmed that players will know they're shooting at someone with Serpentine, as you'll see a little blue icon if you shoot someone while sprinting, which is like what stim is supposed to do if you're shooting someone and they're stimming and it doesn't work. So we'll see if that actually works. He says, I think fundamentally it's going to be really healthy to Warzone to allow players to have that all-important counterplay. So this will be coming in Season 3 Reloaded, and it will be ground loot, which is pretty nutty. So Raven is a blue perk in Vanguard that when sprinting decreases the damage taken. Yes. It is a blue perk. So that's going to go up against Cold-Blooded and EOD.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good perk. So I think what they're saying is, I'm thinking the one-shot snipers, if someone has Serpentine and they're sprinting, won't one-shot anymore.
That's what I think.
And it doesn't have to be tac sprint. I'm 99% sure it's just sprinting. As long as you're not walking and doing at least a regular sprint, it decreases the damage taken. I think in Vanguard it was, what, like 15, 20% less damage?
I don't know exactly, but it's noticeable. It works.
Yeah. So this is huge. Another thing I've already thought of, this is just going to make Combat Scout even better, as if it wasn't already better. Because now if this is in the blue category and people now are dropping this to take less damage, for Cold-Blooded, then see ya. Combat Scout is just even fucking better than already being the best perk in the game by far. So I don't really love that. But you know, at the end of the day, this is making the time to kill a little bit slower in many situations. Many situations. So this is going to be interesting. Not sure how I feel about it being ground loot, though. I'll be honest with you there.
This seems nuts. I'm like... So first of all, once again, Timmy Timmons demonstrating he doesn't play Warzone. You don't need to run Serpentine to counter snipers anymore. You don't need to do anything. Snipers don't need to be countered anymore. I just don't get sniped at ever, like, anymore. So adding Serpentine to counter snipers, as if sniping was already probably not worth doing, now it's definitely not worth doing. Because now even your fucking HDR that takes 45 minutes to rechamber is not going to one-shot headshot someone who's moving their character. Because no one walks around Warzone. They're always sprinting. So snipers are done now. Snipers are completely dead, especially if Serpentine is ground loot. It doesn't just counter snipers, it makes them unusable. So F's in the chat for snipers. I really strongly believe this. Unless it's so rare and no one uses it because they're running cold-blooded instead. But I could barely find a reason to snipe after those changes. Before this perk, afterward, I just don't see a reason. So adding Serpentine to counter snipers, it's just something that a Warzone dev would think is necessary because they don't play Warzone. But it's not necessary. However, that doesn't mean Serpentine is necessarily a bad addition to the game. I don't know how I feel about it. You shouldn't run it to counter snipers because it doesn't matter. But running it to counter every other thing is really good. If you take 10% less damage while sprinting, plus stims, that's a dude, you're going to be tanky.
Yeah.
You're going to be really tanky. And this is going to be an insanely strong perk. How many times have you, like, almost gotten behind the rock trying to get into zone, getting held by 4 people with stim? Now imagine if you had Serpentine, you make that.
Yeah.
Like, this is really, 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 really good. I don't know if it's worth running over cold-blooded because it's not really going to help you in a gunfight, but it is going to massively help you getting into a good position or something. It's going to make you a lot more tanky in bad situations that are fairly often a coin flip on whether you're going to survive or not. You're going to get that flip a lot of times if you have Serpentine. This is going to be a really strong perk.
Know what I just thought of? This may make Vanguard SMGs with gung-ho busted. Think if you're in a close range battle and you can keep sprinting, hip firing with like a Vanguard SMG taking less damage, sprinting while firing, that could put gung-ho as a really good perk that hasn't been that good so far. Because
timestamp me now.
Because
you just broke the meta, dude.
Because you are right that it won't really affect like an AR to AR gunfight because you're both going to stop moving, you're going to shoot at each other. It's not going to change a whole lot. SMG gunfights though, if you are sprinting and they're not, you're going to win a lot more gunfights right there. The only downside is they've nerfed a lot of like the hip fire builds, you know? But I don't know. I think that could be really interesting is using gung-ho with Serpentine.
That's fucking nuts. That's giant brain. Because, yeah, if you just take like 10% less damage, how many more shots to kill is that? Or like 15 or 20? Holy shit. That's huge brain. That's going to be worth trying, dude. Yeah. That's going to be worth trying. But then the question is, do you take cold-blooded instead of Serpentine in your actual loadout? I think the answer is yes, since you can't pick up cold-blooded. But if they make cold-blooded lootable also, then I don't know what's better. Like, I actually don't know what's better. Cold-blooded's gonna... It seems to me like cold-blooded's gonna make you survive more heads-up gunfights. But Serpentine's gonna help you more survive when you're not in a gunfight, I guess.
And that's the other thing, you know, with all the open space in Caldera, though, I don't think something like Serpentine would be Well, maybe it would still be good on Rebirth, but especially like when there's areas with no cover, Serpentine, like you were saying, that combined with stims too is going to keep you alive longer and let you get in cover.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's crazy that no one has talked about Serpentine, and I really do think it's because no one that plays Warzone has ever played Vanguard, and they don't know what Serpentine is, because this is actually a really big deal for Warzone.
Yeah, this is a huge deal. This is crazy. I'm very excited to try this. It will raise the TTK, which is good.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty thrilled about this, for sure.
Exactly.
But the biggest takeaway, I think, is that you should try it when it comes out, and try it with Gung Ho. That's a really smart idea. And delete all your custom sniper loadouts. They don't matter anymore. Their snipers are dead once Serpentine comes to the game. Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to hit a headshot with an HDR on Caldera when people are super far and sprinting, and now you won't even get a headshot kill. Like, that's so crazy. Yeah, so snipers are dead. Cool, countered. And that's that. All right, Tanner, what do we got next?
Next up here, this is from Charlie Intel again. In an interview with the Washington Post, Activision's Josh Bridge, who is the creative, his title was Call of Duty Creative Live Ops Lead, something like that. So basically, I think he's Ted Timmons' boss. Ted Timmons is creative of Raven. Okay. He oversees all of live operations on Call of Duty. So he's like the top boy. Says that inventory carrying over to Warzone 2 is, quote, a technology discussion. It's a technical issue. We all want it.
It's a technical issue,
and that the game right now is bloated. No clear official answer. So basically, he beats around the bush like an excellent politician. Throw him in office. About things transferring over. Because people want their skins transferred over, their emblems, their calling cards. And that's what the question was about. I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't think it is. I want none of this shit coming to Warzone 2. I don't want a goddamn thing. My nuke calling card, don't want it. My Modern Warfare 2019 Season 0 100% completionist animated emblem, don't want it. Get it out of here. My skins I've purchased, don't want them. Don't care. This is the perfect and finally the first real opportunity for Warzone to move on and feel like a brand new game.
True.
I don't want a goddamn thing. None of the same operators, no skins, nothing. Get it out of the game. Clean slate, please. And I think that's what they're getting at. I don't think everything's going to transfer over, but I know a lot of these kids are going to be like, dude, I spent $1,000 on skins. I want them. Get fucked. Sorry. You know? You should have known that. It's only going to last so long in a modern day video game. Get fucked, kid. So, I want to start with 20 basic calling cards and nothing else. That's what I want. Because he even said, like, yeah, like the calling cards, it's like so bloated. You have to scroll through the list and there's like an endless amount. And it's like, oh, yeah, and I don't know why I got any of them because you don't tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm with you. I want a fresh start for sure.
Yeah.
One thing that during the hangout we were talking about Overwatch 2, which is in beta now, which is really like Overwatch 1.5. But Overwatch and Overwatch 2 is developed by and published by, I don't know who it's developed by, but it's published by Activision Blizzard. Same company as Warzone. And one thing they did for Overwatch 2, or that they're going to do, is all of your skins for your heroes that you bought in Overwatch 1 or earned in Overwatch 1 will transfer to Overwatch 2 because all the heroes are like the same. So like, what's an Overwatch character? Tracer. If you have a Tracer skin, that will carry over to Overwatch 2. And this is Activision Blizzard. So I think they can do it for some things. And I think they probably want to do it for some things as well. I think the safest bet is skins, operator skins. I wouldn't be surprised if operators carried over, or at least some of them, and you kept their like outfits. I'd be a little more surprised at weapons because they're going to be different weapons with different stats and shit.
Transferring, no.
So that seems unlikely. And then calling cards seems insane because not only are there too many, But no one wants that anyway. No one wants to keep their calling cards, I don't think. You shouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Because there are too many and they don't signify anything, as Tanner was saying. So that's something to keep in mind, though, is Overwatch 2 did allow you to transfer over skins, which is also a Blizzard game. So maybe that's in the cards. But if he was weaseling around this answer, then that's basically confirmation that at least some shit is not going to transfer over. And stay mad. It's a new game. I don't care either.
Yeah, I think hardly anything will transfer over. Yeah, because I mean, think about it. If they bought like a bundle that has weapon skins in it and stuff, then it's kind of weird that like, oh, a certain operator and that outfit may transfer over from that bundle, but these weapon ones won't. It just seems weird. I feel like it's like you need to transfer everything or nothing. And then the other way that they can get around pissing kids off is Warzone 1's not going anywhere. It's going to be playable still. So they can be like, oh, if you want your skins, you can play Warzone 1 still.
Which is what I think they'll do, yeah.
Yeah, so I want nothing transferred over, and I think that's what we're going to get.
Yeah.
I just don't want the game to just start bloated, because he also mentioned that. He was like, you'd be surprised like at how much all of these calling cards and emblems and stuff increase the file size of this game, and it's already a really big file size. He said all of that just bloats it and makes the file size even larger.
True. It's a good point.
So
that's a good point. Yeah, I would like a fresh start, and it seems like that is probably what's going to happen. But I'm okay with that. I mean, yeah, I've never bought an in-game item and thought it was going to care. Like, I never bought like a BO4. I didn't buy like a bundle in BO4 and think I was going to be able to play as fucking Ruin in World War II. Like, that didn't, or what was the next game? Modern Warfare. Yeah, I did not. I was never under that assumption. I don't know why people think that now. That's the weird thing to me. So, like, hopefully it doesn't transfer over. Yeah.
I hope too in Warzone 2 we can finally buy just a gun skin. That would be so nice, great. Man.
And then give a discount for a bundle.
That's what was dope about Steam games too. Is the Steam store buying shit off the Steam market from other people for real cash. Like, you can buy a nice rare knife in CSGO and sell it a year later for the same price in United States dollars that you bought it for or more. That's what was cool about that system too. It's like, oh yeah, you spent $300 on a Damascus Karambit, whatever. I don't remember what everything was called. And then I could sell it a year later for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty will never have anything like that.
Definitely not. Yeah.
But anyways.
There you go.
So next item here, Call of Duty Mobile. This is pretty nutty. Season 4 introduces a new tournament mode for duos or solos players. So there's like gunfight, 2v2, all these different game modes where you can earn in-game rewards, skins, other things. So this is separate from a ranked play that's already in there. So if you don't know, Warzone, we have what? We have skill-based matchmaking and cheaters. Call of Duty Mobile. Correct. There is ranked play. It's been downloaded 650 million times. There's tournaments.
There's good maps.
There's better maps. There's better skins. There's better everything. Awesome. We should just be COD Mobile mains, man.
This is crazy dope. That they're getting all the features that like their actual player base wants. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Mobile's the future, I think, man. It's insane, but mobile seems to be the future.
Sadly. Yeah, it is very weird that they do all of this cool shit for COD Mobile that they just don't want to do for like their biggest cash cow. Or maybe it's not. Maybe they make more on COD Mobile. I don't fucking know.
XTV just asked that in chat, and I was about to say, I really don't know. Because mobile, it's like everything is a microtransaction, and people on mobile, I feel like, are more likely to spend a bunch of money. So it's like, oh, this is 99 cents. I'll buy that real quick. Which is what I've been saying they need to do.
Button, Apple Pay, yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so simple. Whereas, like, now I have to spend $24 on Call of Duty points to then redeem those points in the store on a massive bundle. If I could buy just one skin out of that bundle, I'm telling you, I would be buying shit from the store every single day. But instead, I bought a total of under 20 bundles since Warzone released, because most of the stuff in the bundle is trash. They would have made so much more money off me if I could buy individual items.
Same. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's cool for COD Mobile, I guess.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Could mean we're going to get some shit like this for Warzone 2. There's the only upside I see. The only silver lining. Because they obviously have these ideas. The like doing a tournament mode, doing ranked play. Their Call of Duty Activision is capable of doing that since they did it for COD Mobile. I'm pretty confident we'll see things like this in Warzone 2 as well.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
There's the silver lining, but yeah.
Yeah, so here's another thing here from Activision's annual report with the SEC. So Call of Duty, our largest franchise, continue to see benefits of our initiatives to expand reach, engagement, and player investment in 2021. I don't know what that means. A Warzone free-to-play experience continued to engage tens of millions of monthly players, including many in countries outside our traditional regions, creating numerous opportunities for player investment in in-game content and premium releases. While Call of Duty remains one of the most successful entertainment franchises of all time, our 2021 premium release didn't meet our expectations. We believe primarily due to our own execution. The game's World War II setting didn't resonate with some of our community. Almost all of it, don't say some.
Yeah.
We didn't deliver as much innovation in the previous game, in the premium game that we would have liked. True, you didn't. There was zero innovation. Was there anything really new?
10 attachments, that's it.
Which was uninteresting. If that was the first iteration of Gunsmith, that would have been huge. But since MDub 2019 already did Gunsmith, it was uninteresting.
Exactly.
As we would have liked, and certainly addressing both these issues with the 2022 launch development.
And Blind Fire.
That I've yet. I think I have one total kill with Blind Fire and Vanguard, actually.
Yeah.
So development on the 2022 Premium and Warzone experience being led by Activision's renowned Infinity Ward Studio. They love IDub. We are working on the most ambitious plan in Call of Duty history. Again, hinting at big things coming this year with other game modes and whatnot. With over 3,000 people working on the franchise and a return to the Modern Warfare setting that delivered our most successful Call of Duty title ever, which was MDub 2019. So, not real surprising, but they've publicly said it. Yeah, we shouldn't have done World War II. They will never make that mistake again. Vanguard is the last World War II Call of Duty game that will ever be made. Maybe a modern shooter ever to be made from a AAA studio. You know, there's a game on PC called like Hell Let Loose. Maybe it's on console. Realistic. You shoot at someone's leg, it blows off. But you will never see a World War II arcade type shooter from a AAA dev team again. I think those days they're just uninteresting now. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
People just don't like drum magazines on an M1 Grand, you know.
Yeah, and this is what we've been saying to you guys forever. World War II was just bad. They could have released the same game with a different skin, with a modern skin, and sold more.
Yep.
They just
could have been the same game. That's what we've always said.
Literally the same.
The guns feel modern. You don't think they're World War II guns. It's just the marketing alone that it's a World War II game absolutely killed it.
Yeah, for sure. So all of that is unsurprising. Next, New York City, oh boy, is suing Activision Blizzard, saying, this is our segment called the Troubles at Activision, by the way.
Legal troubles at Activision, yeah.
Bobby Kotick rushed into the Microsoft deal to avoid being liable for the company's issues.
Really?
There's an article.
Surprising.
There's an article which I haven't read, but there are a couple more tweets from Charlie Antel for more clarification. Quote, Kotick will be able to escape liability and accountability entirely and will instead continue to serve as an exec after the merger closes. This lawsuit is going for Kotick, saying he rushed into Microsoft's $95 per share offer because of how much money he would make, and that the board accepted an offer within 30 days of Wall Street Journal's report in November of what was happening internally.
That moved fast.
Real fast. But of course,
yeah.
I didn't know that you could sue for something like this.
Yeah, why would they be suing? It would come. Why New York City?
Huh?
Why New York City?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where's
I don't know.
What? I don't understand that.
Yeah, like the state of New York is suing. It's very weird. Or the city of New York.
The city of New York. New York City is suing. Activision studio, which isn't Activision's main headquarters in California. So yes, I don't understand how any of this works. I guess it's like the same thing how any random judge, basically, federal judge, can strike down laws out of nowhere, just like because they want to, shit like that. I don't know. Yep. It's weird.
It's very weird. And spoiler alert, The merger will happen. Bobby Kotick will be fine, and he'll make a bucket load of money.
Yep.
Smile. There's no chance that they...
Yep.
At least I don't think. I've never even heard of this. Like, what is this lawsuit for? You bought it too fast, huh? What was he supposed to do? Like, oh, the deal looks great, but let's just wait 2 months so we don't get sued. Cool. Like, this seems like such an easy legal defense. So Bobby Kotick will be fine. He'll grease some palms and smoke some cigars in rooms that are smoky.
Oh, exactly.
And it'll be fine. Yeah, so I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Other than that, Tanner, Dropshot, anything else?
No.
All right. All right, fellas, ladies, and gentlemen, that is it. Reminder, give Tanner money for his 30th birthday. He has a midlife crisis ongoing. So he can purchase a Jeep or something. You can support that. And you can also support the podcast at patreon.com/thedropshot. 7 bonus episodes per month, monthly hangouts, and more. If you're enjoying the show, if you want more episodes, if you want to support the show, Patreon is the best way to do it. It's where we offer all of our bonus content. You can find a link to the Patreon at thedropshot.com, and you could find links to everything else at thedropshot.com as well. We have a merch store with some banger items. We've got a Twitter. We've got a YouTube with video versions of the podcast, all of which is timestamped. And again, of course, we have the Patreon, which is the best way, once again, to support the program. We also have our Discord linked there. Chat with us, chat with other members of the community, the commune, and maybe make some friends that are real pieces of shit like you. That is it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.